When I'm in this car, y'all know I mean business. I mean business, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. Today, what did I tell y'all? I told y'all I was working on being vulnerable. And I feel like what better way to work on it than to speak on my biggest vulnerability. My biggest vulnerability. Something that made me the person that I am today, that a lot of people don't know about. So how can you really like understand me as a person and the person that I've become and the person that I am if you don't really know this about me? So we about to get into it, y'all. We're about to get into it. And y'all, please bear with me. My words might be everywhere. Maybe not, but they very much could be. Please bear with me. Because like I said, this is new for me and a lot of people don't know this. There's probably a handful of people who know this about me. So I think today's video is going to be called My Testimony. My testimony, because that's what this is today. And I got my cross on me always. Pick up my cross every day. Every day I pick up my cross. Meaning, I'm in that word every day. I talk to God every day. I spend time with the Lord every day. So, and may I remind y'all, like, first of all, hold on. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who is he who strengthens me. I promise y'all I'm not doing this out of my own strength. If it was out of my own strength, I probably would never tell this story. I probably would never be sitting here in front of y'all in this camera, period. But obedience over everything. So when God knock on that door and he called, I'm going to answer every time. Whether I want to do it or not, I'm going to do it scared, I'm going to do it tight, I'm going to do it hurt, I'm going to do whatever, because God would not call me to do something if he's not going to cover me in the process. So with that being said, first I'm going to start off by reading something to y'all. I'm going to read y'all my college essay. Y'all know the essays that you write to get into college? Let me read it for y'all. It is titled, The Lessons We Learned from Obstacles. Interesting. Of course, you had to start off with a quote. What's an essay without starting off with a quote? Our greatest glory is not in ever falling, but in rising every time we fall. I've always been a firm believer, and y'all please bear with me because I do have to read off the phone. I wrote this 3 years ago. I don't have it memorized. Not even a little bit. I've always been a firm believer in that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes at the moment you won't understand, but you realize that everything happens for the greater good. The worst emotional wounds are healed by positivity. It offers us the ability to perceive the light in the dark and the strength to develop as individuals. October 5th, 2017. Was not only a fall day, but it was the day my life had changed forever. Forever. The 13-year-old me woke up fatigued but ecstatic to go on a field trip to Grand Valley State. This started just like any other school day. My mom worked midnight, so in turn, her significant other would get up and take all of the kids to school. And at this time, there's 6 of us. All of us are at our elementary school, except for one who got promoted and went to high school. First stop was U of D High School, where the oldest son attended. And it was quite some time before we got to my elementary school, so you know, I've always been a sleepy girl. We're gonna take a nap. We're gonna take a nap until we get to school. Suddenly, I felt a hand going up my thigh and up my skirt, fondling me. At this very moment, I felt confused and petrified, unable to use my words or even move for that matter. I continued to act asleep because I didn't have anything to say. What could you say at a moment? I encountered this several times throughout the month, incapable of saying anything to him or reaching out for help. I was so afraid and felt betrayed because this person was supposed to be a big brother to me. How could this happen? How could this happen? After this situation, I was seen as a victim. Not only did I see myself as one, but so did those around me. So as you can imagine, I don't want too many people knowing about what happened, because for the very handful of people that knew, I was a victim. And if you've ever been a victim of anything, it's not a good feeling whatsoever. It's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. Especially if you're trying to move on. It's not a good feeling. This was something I had only heard and seen on TV shows. Y'all know I'm a Law and Order fanatic. This is TV, and you watch stuff like that and you go, oh, if that were me, I would do whatever. In this moment, she knew. Because of this situation, I would never say, oh, I would never do that, because, or what I would do in a situation, because you don't know until you're in that situation. For it to happen to me shifted my life, which led me to go down a road filled with depression and anxiety. This not only affected me, but the people around me who I loved the most. Seeing the people closest to me hurting motivated me to change so that they weren't hurting like I was. After facing my fears one day in time and attending therapy, I'm now able to look at the story differently. I no longer see myself as a victim. I am now empowered by this. I have learned how to process trauma, personal empowerment, and gaining the confidence and strength to overcome obstacles, and living a life that is true to myself. Being empowered by your trauma changes the way you're affected, and it gives you a new look at life. What counts is how we respond to such events and how we go about making positive changes in our lives. That was written in 2021. I can indeed tell you, me today on November 2nd, 2024, that wasn't the truth. That was not the truth. That was not the truth. Did it sound good? Did the end of it sound good? Absolutely. But was I healed? Did I deal with that trauma? Absolutely not. And if you know me and you know that I had seizures, this is part of the reason why I've had those seizures. I know everybody was confused. Oh, where did this come from? It came from trauma and PTSD that was undealt with in my subconscious mind. As you can imagine, going through sexual assault, because we're going to call it what it is, sexual assault, it changes your life. It changes you as a person. And when I first began this walk with Christ, actually before I intentionally started this walk, I was like, I think I told y'all this before. I finally feel like me again when life had let up a little bit. But then I realized, like, what does that even mean to be you? And I told myself, in order to know what it means to be you, you have to go back to you before all the hurt, because the hurt changes us. A broken heart changes you. So I really had to dig deep and do the work and do it with God this time, because before doing it in my own strength or trying to go to a therapist, it didn't help. It didn't help. It was something I was still struggling with. But doing it with God and doing it through Christ, it's just been so much differently, and it's opened my eyes to so much, and it made me realize, like, 2021, baby, we were not healed. Nowhere near. We weren't. We weren't. Now I can truly say I'm healed from it. And if I weren't healed, I don't think I'd be able to speak on it to this day. If I weren't empowered, I said I was empowered before. And I got that because when I went to therapy for it, the therapist asked me what happened. I told her. And she told me, at the end of all this, when you're healed, you'll be able to tell it from, not from a place of being a victim, but of a place of being empowered. And that has always been on my mind, because what does that mean? What does it mean to be empowered? Like I said, I pick up my cross every day. So I would say back in July, God told me that I had to tell this story. And I'm just like, God, what? How? Who? What? When? Where? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? As we've seen, there's been more work that he's done on me throughout this time. It's November now. So I would say, guys, he's done a lot of work. He's done a lot of making. So back then I didn't have the answer. I did not have the answer whatsoever. And he said from a place of power. And I'm like, but what does that mean? I still don't know what that means. So what God told me was, taking back my power over this situation will be speaking on it, because the reason it's had power over me because I haven't spoke on it. There's people that I was around every day during the times that it happened, during the times I walked around just sad and unhealed on the inside, and it was eating me up. It was people in my face every day, people I was around, they had no clue. No clue. So in being silent, I let the situation have power over me, and that's why I'm here today, because we're letting that go. We're releasing that. we're releasing that. Only way to get over a fear is to confront it. So that is why I'm sitting in front of you telling you this story, because it's done. It's in the past. It no longer has power over me as of Monday, November 4th, when this goes live. It's done. Like, it's done. That demon is under me. That serpent is under my feet. It's done. And again, I just have to thank God. Like, I thank God every day. I get very emotional in his presence because he made something out of nothing. I don't know if y'all know that song, but God truly made something out of nothing. Like, and he's really, like, healed me. And I pray that everyone gets to experience this journey that I've experienced and experience God in the way that I've experienced it, because you will see, like, he's just so awesome. He's so awesome. And when God calls you to do something, it's okay to be scared. You can be scared, but you got to do it regardless. And not only that, he calls the unqualified, and he qualifies you as you go. He makes you as you go to that calling. He won't just tell you to do something, just throw you in there to the wolves. He's going to build you up and give you the strength and give you all this. And you put on your armor every day and you do what God tells you to do. And every little piece of obedience builds to something bigger. And another reason why I knew I had to tell this is because there's people waiting on me to be obedient. There's people who probably have the same story and are scared to speak on it, because, like I said before, I started this channel because when I was going through this very thing, it was nobody around me for me to talk to. My friends weren't experiencing the same things. There was nobody on social media, YouTube, anything like that, telling their stories. So I felt very alone. And it was a very dark time. Very dark, very alone. And for the longest, I really and truly thought I was healed from it. I thought it didn't affect me. And so honestly, recently, I was watching a show called Unreasonable Doubt. And the main character, she's a lawyer. She had been assaulted by her stepfather and groomed. And fast forward, she realized how it was affecting her and how she had disassociated from the fact that, like, everything happened and that it did affect her. And I feel like we think that disassociating, acting like things don't affect us, it helps you get over it, but it doesn't. It just makes it worse. It makes you not realize how you're showing the effects in your day-to-day life. And what's interesting is, y'all, God told me yesterday, when I spent time with him yesterday, hold on. When I spent time with God yesterday, he told me that I had to tell this, and I'm just like, are you sure? Like, I need confirmation. Like, this is a big deal for me. Like, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. A really big deal. It's a big deal. So I need confirmation. Is this what we're doing? I say, yeah. So then I had to ask myself, like, what are you scared of? Like, what are you scared of? And in the moment, I didn't get the answer, but as time went on throughout the day and I spent more time with God, playing my worship music, I got the answer. The answer was, I was afraid to be seen and heard. Because if you see my biggest vulnerability and something that it takes a lot of vulnerability for me to talk about, you see that, then you see me, and I'm opening myself up to be seen and hurt and heard. But if I try to protect myself, I realize that I'm not trusting God to protect me. So we had to let that go. I had to let that go. And if I want to step into this calling, then I have to be okay with being seen and heard, because, like I said before, my voice does matter. It does. And as I told y'all, y'all voice matter too. So don't let anybody ever make you feel like it doesn't, because it does. And I also want to share a revelation that I had not too long ago. One day, I was talking to my stepmom about a boy in a situation. And she told me, you out here looking for love. And I'm just like, I was offended. Grandma not mad. Grandma just hurt. Because what? Where does this come from? Because I've always felt like, because normally when you hear that, it's because girls don't have like a father figure. They don't have a dad in their life, and they're not getting love at home. So I'm just like, what you trying to say? Like, I thought my daddy loved me. Like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? But what God dropped in my spirit was, she said that based off the things that I was telling her and based off previous experiences with boys, men, whatever you want to call them. That's why she said that. But she didn't really know, like, what really was going on. And I don't think a lot of people, even myself included, I didn't consider my trauma because like I tried to act like I was healed from it. So I didn't realize like how my trauma did affect me. Like it did affect me when I was doing whatever I was doing in these relationships, situationships, whatever you want to call them. It very much came out in those situations, which is why I said before, please heal first. Please heal before you open yourself up to anybody willingly. Please heal, because it does show. So while she didn't know like the real, I knew the real, and God made me realize like, was I looking for love? No. But was I looking for control and power and taking that back? Absolutely. And I was doing it all in the wrong way. All in the wrong way. All in the wrong way. Because if I'm being honest, y'all, I'm being so honest and so vulnerable. I was probably no better than a man. I'm calling you up. I don't want to say when I need you, but when I want you and I want whatever. If y'all fill in the blank. And then that's it. I'm not talking. I'm not sweet talking. We're not talking. We just doing that. That's it. And on my time and my time only. So in that way, I was trying to take that power back. But as you heal and you grow up and, you know, I spend time with the Lord, I realized that was not taking power back. That was just opening myself up to so many other things. And I was going about it all in the wrong way. I'm glad that I realized it now, but I really thought I was doing something. I've had conversations, like I got into it with somebody. Oh, you only want whatever on your time, never on my time, whatever. And I didn't care. Okay, and then this is why I appreciate my stepmom so much. I began to cry after. Yeah, I began to cry after. On several occasions, and I'm just like, I don't know what this is about. It's weird. It's different because there's nothing on my mind. Like, I don't know why I'm crying either. So she told me, like, you know what, just take a break to yourself and see what that does for you. So I'm like, okay, you're right. Because I take feedback and I like to learn, like to grow. You're right. I took like a week off, went back to it, and then cried again. So I'm like, okay, for real. We're gonna stop. And then in stopping, it gave me clarity, and I was able just to like hear and just think more. And it made me realize like I was doing this for all the wrong reasons. I was doing it out of hurt, out of spite, trying to take control. In reality, I was just giving up more, like, you know. And I would also like to add this message in. If someone ever confides in you that they've been sexually assaulted or whatever the case may be, how you respond is everything. It's everything. It does matter. And we have to be like very considerate and empathetic, because this, like I said, it's a life altering thing. It changes everything. It changes your whole outlook on life, like your trust, like it changes a lot. It changes everything. And one time, someone, I don't name no names, but somebody told me, ain't nothing changed. I'm glad you have the privilege of feeling like nothing's changed, but for me, everything has changed. My whole life has changed. So please watch what you say. And also, I feel like a lot of people don't know like what's considered sexual assault, but especially for the men, because I feel like especially in relationships, you feel like, oh, she my girl, she gotta do it. I don't. And if I decide to do it and I say I want to stop, like never mind, I'm withdrawing my consent, then that means stop. As you force me to continue going, then that becomes sexual assault. Coercion is still sexual assault. So I think it's very responsible that we educate ourselves on these things and we consider those things when, you know, participating in sexual activity. And honestly, I feel so much better telling this story because, like I said, this is something I've been keeping in. How long ago was 2017? Like 7 years ago, maybe, because I was 13. I'm 20. 7 years ago. 7 years ago. my life changed forever. And I was living with a burden. And it was even heavier to carry because nobody knew. Nobody knew. And a lot of people feel like I had it all together. I had it all. And I feel like I don't look like anything I've been through, and I don't really act like it. And when you don't see that, maybe the outside didn't look like it, but on the inside very much looked like it. So when you don't look like anything you've been through and you are able to like keep a good spirit during those times, people feel like you haven't gone through anything. And that's very far from the truth. It's very far from the truth. But I've also grown spiritually, and I realized God made it work for my good. Because again, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't be empathetic. I wouldn't be just so caring and just so soft and understanding had I not gone through anything in life. I wouldn't be able to help people go through certain situations or talk them through had I not gone through anything in life. And if I could go back, I wouldn't even change anything because, like I said, it's made me the person who I am today. I'm very proud of the person who I am today. I'm very proud, and I've come a long way in healing through Christ. I've come a long way. I've come a long way, and I'm very proud of that. And I thank God every day because, like I said, He made something out of nothing. I listen to that song every day. I listen to that song every day because God truly made something out of nothing. And He didn't have to. He didn't have to. He didn't have to do anything. But He did. And I thank God for choosing me, making that bold move. And in return, here I am with my bold move. And also, after my walk with God, my talk with God yesterday, I watched a sermon. I try to watch a sermon every day. And it was called A Bold Move. And I just click on whichever one I feel moved in my spirit to watch. And it was a bold move. And as I'm writing the title, I'm like, I feel like I wrote this before. Like, I watched this video before. So I went back and looked at my notes like months ago. I did. But the notes, it was very minimum. I'm like, okay, let's just watch it again. I'm watching it. Clocked left and right. Left and right. And what Pastor Cedric Robert said was, in making a bold, it's not bold if you do it in front of strangers. It's bold when you do it in front of your own tribe. And for me, that means, like, for me, like, there's strangers who've known about this story, like, at work. I've, like, met people and we've talked. And just these different people. There's strangers who know versus my family who knows nothing. My siblings know nothing. My friends at the time, who I'm still cool with to this day, knew nothing. They know nothing. Like, people close to me know nothing. If you aren't my parents and, like, a few friends, you don't know nothing. So that really spoke to me, and I was glad that God moved me to watch that video because I think I needed it. Like, I needed that. And that little nudge, that little push. Oh, I watched the sermon today. It was called Glory Triggers. And God won't trigger you just to hurt you. Like, He's gonna trigger you because there's always a reason. And God is very intentional and very strategic on how He does things. So I feel like watching the show Unreasonable Doubt, that was like a glory trigger for me. Because if it wasn't for that show, I probably would not have gone to God about the situation again. I wouldn't be making these videos. Watching that show it really triggered something in me. Like, I was going through something emotionally to where I had to just, like, God said give him 3 days. I gave him 3 days. I stayed at home, didn't go anywhere. And I had plans to, like, go and make money and everything. But when God calls, I pick up the phone. And when He say do, I do. Regardless of what I want to or not. Because did I need the money? No. But it's always nice to have extra money. So, and God's going to make sure I'm straight. So, and He's been doing that. He's been providing. Jehovah Jireh. Can I get an amen? But yeah, I feel like the show was really like a glory trigger for me because it ignited a fuel in me that needed to be sparked. You know? It did. Because that led me to go to God. It was a very emotional, like, past week. But that's okay. Like, that's okay. Like, I'm telling you, I'm not even calling my friends. I'm not calling Mr. Kill. Like, they're like, what's wrong? I didn't even have the words for them, so I could only go to God anyways. I don't have the words for y'all. And I know y'all can't do what needs to be done. I know only God can do that. Because, like I said, I don't have the words for y'all. But God hears my cries. Like, He understands what I need. He knows my heart, you know? So, God, hello. So when He called me back, We have to be obedient and do what he says to do. Because like I said before, there's other people. There's people tied to your obedience. Your obedience is just not about you, and the glory is never about you. It's about God. God is going to always get the glory. So if God has you to do something, it's because there's other people who needs that to be done too. And I would say this journey, I've always been like a selfless person, but it's really made me like really selfless. Like nothing's about me. It's really never about me. It's really not. It's not. It's not. So I needed that glory trigger to even be having this conversation right now. If it weren't for that show, I probably would not be here right now. And the funny thing about it is, and that's how I know it's God, right after I got what I needed from that show, y'all, season was over. I was about to watch season 2, baby. Whoever account I was on did not pay the bill, so I couldn't even watch it anymore. So I feel like I got what I needed, and that was that. And now it's time to go on and do what you have to do. So I'm doing what I gotta do. And it took a lot, but I don't know. Like, I feel so much better. Yeah. So I hope this helps someone today. You guys picked up the gems that I've dropped in this video. And it's always a safe space. So if anybody want to, contact me, my information is always down below or in my description. So yeah, I'm always all ears. Yeah. Mwah. I'm capable.